Listen up, because the landscape of the Los Angeles Rams is shifting right under our feet, and you need to pay attention immediately. We are talking about a seismic day for this franchise that touches every single level of the organization, from the coaching staff locking down critical assets to a bittersweet goodbye from a legendary champion that will leave a massive void in the locker room. But that is not all. There is a storm brewing in the NFC West involving one of the most dangerous weapons in football, and if the Rams blink, they could get left behind. This is the news you cannot afford to miss.
Let's start with the coaching staff, because this is the foundation of everything we do in Los Angeles. Sources confirm that Aubrey Pleasant has completed his interview process across the league, and despite significant interest elsewhere, he is staying put with the Rams for the 2026 season. This is not just a minor staffing update. This is a massive victory for Sean McVay and the front office. We know that the NFL is a copycat league, where successful assistants get poached left and right. When you have a culture as strong as the one in Los Angeles, teams come calling. They want a piece of that magic, but Pleasant is staying. He remains a critical architect within a defense that relies heavily on communication and development in the secondary. Keeping him ensures continuity in a sector that absolutely cannot afford regression. We are talking about the passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach role, a position that dictates whether you get burned on Sundays or whether you lock down the opposing number one receiver. Now, let me tell you why this matters so much. You do not build a championship contender by installing a revolving door in your coaching room. You look at the teams that fail, the franchises that stay in the basement of the standings, and what do you see? Instability. They change voices every single year. The players never know who to listen to. But here, McVay is drawing a line in the sand. He understands that while players win games, coaching consistency wins championships. Retaining Aubrey Pleasant is a statement. It says that this organization is a destination, not a stepping stone. It tells the players in that locker room that the standard remains the standard. We have seen too many talented Rams assistants walk out the door in previous years to become head coaches or coordinators elsewhere. It is the price of success. But today, the bleeding stops. Today, we keep a brilliant defensive mind in the building. You have to look at the development of the young defensive backs on this roster. Who is responsible for that growth? Who is the guy in their ear during practice, correcting the technique, teaching the scheme, making sure they are ready for the bright lights? It is Pleasant. If he leaves, you risk stunting that growth. You risk confusing your young talent with new terminology and new philosophies. We cannot have that. The NFC West is too dangerous. The margin for error is razor thin. When you have a guy who connects with the players, who demands respect, and who delivers results, you do whatever it takes to keep him. The Rams did exactly that. This is the kind of move that does not make the flashy headlines on national television, but mark my words, it wins you games in December and January. It is a tactical masterstroke by McVay to keep his inner circle intact. The front office deserves major credit for recognizing his value and refusing to let him walk away for nothing. This is the definition of smart, winning football management.
Before we get to the legendary retirement that is shaking the fan base, listen to me. If you want the real truth about the Rams that the mainstream media glosses over, you need to subscribe right now. Do not miss a single update. We now turn to a moment of profound significance for the Los Angeles Rams family and the entire National Football League. It is officially the end of an era. Robert Woods, a native of Southern California, a Super Bowl champion, and a man who embodied the very soul of this franchise, has announced his retirement from the NFL. He decided to hang up his cleats right here with the team where he became a star, bringing his journey full circle. When you look at the transaction wire, it just says retired. But that word does not even begin to scratch the surface of what this man meant to the organization. He was not just a wide receiver. He was the heartbeat of the offense during the most critical transformation in team history. He did the dirty work that no one else wanted to do. He blocked linebackers. He ran the jet sweeps. He caught the tough passes over the middle when he knew he was going to get hit. Let me be very clear about something. You cannot talk about the culture shift in Los Angeles without talking about Robert Woods. When Sean McVay arrived, he needed soldiers. He needed guys who were selfless, tough, and committed to winning above all else. Woods was that guy. He set the tone. I get emotional talking about players like this because they are a dying breed. In an era of divas, in an era of me first, Robert Woods was team first every single day of his life. He is a champion in every sense of the word. Being a native of Southern California, playing his college ball at USC, and then helping bring a Lombardi trophy to the Rams, that is a storybook ending. That is the stuff legends are made of. He leaves the game with his head held high, knowing he squeezed every ounce of potential out of his body. However, we have to address the reality of his departure. Even though he was not on the roster as a primary starter recently, his presence around the organization and his legacy carried weight. When a figure like this officially steps away, it is a reminder that the championship window is always moving. The faces that built the house are leaving one by one. It puts immense pressure on the new generation to step up. Who is going to be the next Robert Woods? Who is going to block on the perimeter like their life depends on it? Who is going to lead by example when things get tough in the fourth quarter? Those shoes are incredibly hard to fill. The Rams are losing a spiritual leader, a standard bearer. We celebrate his career today, we honor his contributions, and we thank him for the blood, sweat, and tears. But make no mistake, his absence leaves a void in the soul of this team that will take a long time to heal. This is a bittersweet day for everyone who loves Rams football.
If the retirement of a legend made you emotional, this next story should make you absolutely terrified. We are tracking a developing situation that could completely flip the power dynamic of the NFC West upside down. Reports are surfacing that Tyreek Hill, the cheetah himself, is garnering serious interest from rivals within our very own division following his sudden availability. Let that sink in for a second. We are talking about the most explosive player in the history of the National Football League potentially lining up against the Rams twice a year. The front office in Los Angeles is monitoring this situation with extreme urgency, as they should. This is not just a rumor. This is a potential catastrophe waiting to happen if the Rams do not have a plan. We know how aggressive the teams in this division can be. If he lands with a rival, the defensive game plan we just celebrated keeping Aubrey Pleasant for, it goes right out the window. Are you kidding me? Do you understand the level of disrespect it would show to the rest of the league if a team in the NFC West adds Tyreek Hill? The Rams simply cannot allow this to happen without a fight. I do not care what the salary cap situation looks like. I do not care about draft picks. When a weapon of mass destruction like Hill becomes available, you have two choices. You either acquire him and become unstoppable, or you ensure he does not go to the enemy. Can you imagine the Rams secondary trying to chase Tyreek Hill around the field while already dealing with the other offensive threats in this division? It is a nightmare scenario. This is where the general manager needs to earn his paycheck. You have to be on the phone. You have to be proactive. You cannot sit back and wait for the dominoes to fall, because if they fall the wrong way, you are looking at a wildly difficult path to the playoffs. This brings us to the ultimate strategic question for Los Angeles. Do they make a move? Do they push their chips into the middle of the table? We've seen them do it before. They are not afraid of the blockbuster trade. Adding Hill to the Rams' offense would be unfair. It would be a video game. But the fear is not just about missing out on him. It's about the direct impact of playing against him. This league is about matchups, and there is no matchup for speed like that. This situation is fluid, it is dangerous, and it is the single biggest storyline aimed at the Rams' future right now. The balance of power in the NFC West is hanging by a thread. If the Rams are asleep at the wheel on this one, they will wake up in a division that has left them in the dust. This is a critical moment for the franchise's scouting and strategy departments. They must assess the threat level and act decisively before it is too late.
This is a defining moment for the Los Angeles Rams. We have secured the coaching staff to lead the defense. We have said goodbye to a legend who set the culture. And now we face a potential arms race in the division with the Tyreek Hill situation. The decisions made in the next few days will dictate whether this team is competing for a Super Bowl or watching from the couch. The front office is under pressure and the stakes have never been higher. I want to hear from you right now. Should the Rams go all in for Tyreek Hill to stop him from joining a rival, or is the cost too high? Drop your answer in the comments immediately. We are in this together, Rams House. Stay sharp, stay passionate, and as always, keep it locked right here.